December 12th, 2023 at 5:05 p.m. Hey y'all, welcome back to Everybody's Got a Story. I'm glad you're here. Y'all, okay. So I was having a conversation with myself about light and dark. I've talked about this throughout my podcast and various episodes, but I was thinking about a lot of different things. I was gonna go on TikTok so you can see my face, but it was giving me a hard time signing in, so I said I don't want to wait. So I decided to come on over and just do the audio version. Do y'all know how important it is to balance your light and your dark? Do you? I accept my light side and I accept my dark side. I balance them. There are a lot of people who don't know how to balance their light and their dark, and as a result, they either end up on one side of the spectrum or the other. If a lot more people could learn how to balance their light and their dark, there'd be a lot less evil in this world. Dark, some folks may call low vibrational, toxic, negative energy. It could be labeled as lust, greed, vanity, bad, and evil. There are different degrees to darkness. I would say my darkness falls around the lustful and bad category, but I balance it. You know how I balance it? I'll tell you. Por ejemplo, I'll use my celibacy as an example. So I've been celibate for a while, right? And there are times when I can have my weak moments where I want to give in, or I wanted to say, fuck it, I'm just gonna go and be with whoever and, satisfy my needs, right? Because the feeling and the desire can become so strong that it can take over your body, right? That's why some people say the flesh is weak. But then the light side of me, which I label the good girl side of me, right? That part kicks in and it's like a warning. It's a light, illumination, right? It signals to me that no, Shonda, no, don't do that. Don't just go be with just anybody. Don't go just lay with just anybody. You don't know this person, and you don't know where they've been, and you don't know what they could be bringing to you. You don't know their spirit like that. You don't know what kind of energy and nastiness they could be bringing to you, right? They could come and release all kind of low vibrational energies inside of you, right? So the good girl side, the light side kicks in and it tempers the dark side, okay? And therein lies the balance between the light and the dark. It doesn't mean that I don't have those bad thoughts, those lustful thoughts, or it doesn't mean that I won't pleasure myself, right? It just means I have to be logical about some things, and I have to do what makes sense, I guess, for me, and what is right for me. But some people can be so low vibrational that they spend the majority of their time in the dark, right? And when you spend too much time in the dark, eventually it will consume you, right? The longer you live in that space and that place of darkness, it becomes who you are, to the point where you now have to pretend to be light. People pretend light all the time, and they feel they have to pretend to be light, because if they showed who they truly were, which is the dark, it could scare people away. It could turn some people off. They may not necessarily get what they want when they want it, right? I guess that's why, people say that there are people that wear masks, especially those that are always in the dark. They wear masks. They have to, right? I mean, they don't have to, but because they understand that there must be a balance between light and dark in society, they wear the mask of light. They pretend in order to fit in to society, right? To be accepted, right? And it's because they haven't learned how to balance the light and the dark. They don't have to stay in the dark. They can come into the light. Maybe they're fearful to. For me, staying in the dark too long is painful. It hurts because misery isn't fun. Depression, I'm sure, damn sure ain't fun. Being angry all the time and hostile, that's not fun. Being bitter, enraged, how is that fun? To me, that doesn't feel good. And it exerts a lot of fucking energy when you are that way. But happy feels good. Love feels good. Sex feels good, but it feels extraordinary with someone who you are actually unconditionally in love with. But some people choose to live in that lustful, toxic, greedy vanity. There are some people who choose to, superficiality. There are some people that choose to live in that. I'm fully aware that there are some rich elites who live in that space, in that place, and they look at people that aren't elite as peasants. Peasants whose lives they can choose to destroy, whose lives they can choose to toy with, play with, whether it be their mental, their physical, and it's like pure entertainment for them. Kind of like the Hunger Games, where those people are put to the test to see if they'll survive all the obstacles and things that are thrown their way, while the elites watch on because it's pure entertainment for them. I get that. It's almost as if they're so rich or wealthy that they get to the point where they get bored because they have everything. And so they don't know what else to do with themselves because they have everything. So what better thing to do, right, is, I don't know, I guess fuck with other people's lives and try to ruin other people's lives instead of trying to help it. If they chose to use their abundance for good, genuinely use their abundance for good, it would help to balance their dark out. But I don't think some people get that. We don't have to live in a world where we have systems put in place to destroy people on purpose. We don't have to do that. Having systems put in place to purposely destroy people and then to sit back and watch it play out as pure entertainment while laughing about it, that to me is evil. That to me is like the darkest of the dark. And I ain't about that life. Like I said, the most dark I'll get is lust and a little bad. I won't allow myself to go all the way on the other side of the spectrum. And I guess that's why I'm able to balance my light and my dark so well. 'Cause I'm not all light, you know? I'm not all light. I'm not light all the time. As a matter of fact, the reason why I am the way I am on my social media platforms, for instance, right, is because that's my way of showing some of my layers. It's my way of showing my light and my shadow. It's my way of saying to people, hey, I'm not perfect. I have flaws. There's some shit that I'm going to say that you may not like. There's some shit I'm going to say that you might like. It's my way of saying, I'm just like you. And in doing that, it helps me to be 1000% authentic to myself. So I don't have to try or pretend to be like any fucking body, because all I can be is myself. You either like it or you don't. You take it or you leave it, right? Some people be on their social media platforms and they're like always light, always smiling, always light. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but in doing that, it puts pressure on a person because they feel like I can never show another side of me because I've always shown only this one side of me. And so many people have gotten used to seeing just this one side of me. So if I come and I show this other side of me, what are they going to think of me? What is it going to do to my reputation? I'm going to cause controversy. People might start hating me. But baby, everybody ain't going to like you. Everybody ain't gonna love you. And at the end of the day, you shouldn't give a fuck. I don't. Do you know how much pressure you put on yourself thinking like that? That's a lot of peer pressure. But if you just be who you are and show some of your layers, you don't have to show all of your layers. You know, some layers you keep in private for other people, you know what I'm saying? But in doing that, there's no pressure, right? People can just either accept it or not accept it. And then the ones that do accept it, guess what? Those are your people, because they fuck with you. The people that you accept, you fuck with them. Y'all vibe. There's a chemistry. You know where you fall in line with, right? Because you ain't going to fall in line with everybody. I don't have time for stress like that. I don't. Growing up, I was conditioned to be a people pleaser. I was conditioned that I had to be light all the time. So I people pleased. I naturally smile a lot anyway. I'm a bubbly person. But I was conditioned growing up to be a people pleaser. It was hard for me to find that balance between light and dark because I thought I had to be light all the time. And then in doing that, you put yourself in situations, not so great situations, where you get caught up in relationships, whether it be friends, family, spouses, you get caught up in these relationships because you've been conditioned to people please all your life, and people take advantage of that, right? And you want to do so much good for other people, right? You want to make sure other people are comfortable and other people are good. You want to make sure you keeping the peace. But in doing that, you hurting yourself and attracting the wrong motherfuckers in the process. So again, it's so important to be able to balance your light and your dark. That way, you stay authentic to yourself. You're not stressed the fuck out about who likes you or who don't. And people can choose to accept it or not, right? Being authentic to yourself can trigger people because you being comfortably you being comfortable in your own skin, that can trigger people who are not comfortable in their own skin. And they'll start hating you for it. But those are the ones that need some healing. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones that might be going through an identity crisis. Those are the ones that, need to look within to reflect. Those are the ones that need to get to know themselves a little bit better, a lot more better, It's not always going to be easy, but I promise you, it is so fucking worth it. It really, really, really is. And then you don't have to try so hard to try to be somebody else, because you'll just be being who you are. Find that balance. As a matter of fact, I think that's what I'm going to label this episode. Find that balance, or find your balance. What makes you feel good? What makes you feel comfortable in your skin? What is authentic to you? Don't be jealous and envious over another person's looks. Don't be jealous and envious over another person's gifts. Don't be jealous and envious over another person's talents. Don't do that. Because you're doing that, you're comparing yourself to somebody else, which means you're not paying attention to who the fuck you are. Who are you? What are your gifts? What are your talents? What are your skills? What do you bring to the table? Stop worrying about what other people got going on with them. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody got different gifts. And you constantly comparing yourself to somebody is only going to destroy you. Right? I use the example of telling a snake that they're supposed to fly all their life, and then all their life the snake is trying to fly, but it don't have wings to fly. And so now it's growing up thinking, oh, I'm so stupid because I haven't learned how to fly yet, when that's not their purpose. They weren't supposed to fly. They don't have wings to fly. You know what I'm saying? Don't compare yourself to a bird, snake. You ain't a bird. The fuck? An apple is an apple and an orange is an orange. It's two completely different things. I say that a lot too. I don't compare myself to nobody. I ain't in competition with nobody. I don't care. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I ain't in competition with nobody. Why? Who's gonna be in competition? I'm me. I say that a lot too. I'm me. So why am I in competition with you if I'm me? I mean, that's just how I look at it. A lot of people look at it differently. But y'all let me know what y'all think about what I just said. This almost 20 minutes. I'm not going to keep y'all much longer. I just had to get that out. This is a lesson. That's also a lesson for me too. The more I talk about it, the more it drives home to me that it's correct. I know it works for me, and so I'm sharing it with you because I hope it can work for you too. But I love your comments and your feedbacks. Of course, they are appreciated. I want to thank you for your time and for listening. And as usual, I will speak to you guys in the next episode. Bye.